Pick up on this.
Mr. William Shatner, please report to Conference Room A. William Shatner, Conference Room A.
Welcome to Attack of the Showcon.
Part of our job is traveling the world in search of the strangest, most obscure, most cosplayingest conventions imaginable. Now, we're reliving them all over again.
And thank goodness for that, Brendan.
How about it?
I see that you've prepared yourself for the fans.
Good crowd today.
Really good crowd, and you doing some autograph signing later?
I'm doing it right now. I'm excited to meet the people who make this all possible, you know? Because it's all about the fans.
It sure is, Brendan, it sure is. Now, when Kevin went out to the Robo Games competition, he had no idea it would end in such heartache.
We're here at SF State for the 2005 Robo Games. It's a little competition that brings the best engineers from throughout the country right here to compete. And, well, not to be outdone, here at Attack of the Show, we've created our own little robot that's going to give the competition a run for their money. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Attack of the Showbot. Here to help us make a little sense of all the servos and rust and metal and metallic noises is the founder of Robo Games. David, tell me about the events today.
The events are across the board. We've tried to get all of the major robot competitions. We have robot soccer, two different types. Robot sumo, robot combat, which everybody knows from those famous TV shows.
Right.
I saw some of the art bots. A lot of them are made out of old lamps and old, I don't even know what they're made out of. There's a lot of old stuff turned into new robots, and it's kind of a cool sort of contrast there.
I think this is definitely an internet fetish. And if it's not, it needs to be.
The most exciting thing is probably Robo-1s, which are walking androids, mostly Japanese robots. They're not mass marketed, they're strictly home built.
Oh, wow.
So this is the first time this has ever been displayed in public, so bear with me. Can we get him to dance? I'm sorry, 1 second. This is a prototype. He's not doing anything. What was that? You look at me, damn it! What was that? I can't be mad at you. Sorry.
Robotics isn't so much a science unto itself as it is cross disciplines, you know? So, for example, the combat guys are really brilliant machinists, and they're really good at power consumption, but they're not very good at, say, sensors or artificial intelligence. The soccer guys are really, really good at artificial intelligence. The sumo guys are good at sensors. So one of the goals is to really get them to cross-pollinate and talk to each other.
Oh! This is how it works. We're behind the scenes here. Robo Games, no rules, no money. Just playing for pride. Stay low, center of gravity, you get up there and you win! You win, boy! Come on, Attack of the Showbot! Go, buddy! Get him! Get him! You suck! I hate you! If you want to make it up to me, you'll do good in BattleBots. That's the spirit.
We have a heavyweight, featherweight. Those are the fancy robots. Oh, they're so boring to watch.
There's no projectiles allowed, is that true?
No projectiles, that's right. You can't carry a shotgun into the arena strapped onto a robot. You can't have a flamethrower, though.
Nice.
Flamethrowers are legal. No entanglement weapons, no corrosive weapons. I know
So
you're
no fun, really.
Yeah.
Real. Attack of the Showbot, this is it. That's your competition right there, Showbots.
Will it be the Showbot or Super Megabyte? There we go.
There, get him, Showbot! Go, baby, go! Come on!
Goes.
Get him, Showbot! Attack! Use your claws! Use your claws! Oh, my God!
Showbot losing a leg. It's not down yet.
Oh, my God, Showbot,
Get back
no!
up. Pulling him across
Oh, my
the arena.
God, Showbot! Get him! Oh, my God! Oh, jeez, no! Oh, my God, Showbot! No! Stop it! No!
He can still come back. I think he can come back. Showbot can
Yeah, well, that's how it goes down at the old Robo Games 2005. Damn spinner bot spinning around. I didn't even get the service plan.
Ooh. Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay? It's okay.
Too hard to say it's over. Still I regret losing you. We never got to dance. You never took the chance. I never got to touch your heart to show how much you never got to dance.
There you go. You're welcome. Poor Attack of the Showbot. I sure miss him every day, Brendan. Now, when Attack of the Showcon continues, we head back to Comic-Con because, well, it was Geek Ground Zero, that's why. And Chris Gore went goth at the Fangoria Horror Fest. It's all next, so stay tuned, suckers. There you go. Thanks for coming. Oh, welcome back to Attack of the Showcon, a collection of the best field trips we ever went on. Now, with a name like Chris Gore, how could we not send him to the Fangoria Horror Fest?
Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors is here in Burbank, California, and fans here have a thirst for blood. And I forgot my black t-shirt. The dealer's room is filled with horror oddities you won't find in any store, and the best part is you can buy them. So, Edward, tell me, exactly what is this 3D art?
These are known as lenticulars. They are changing portraits, and basically I've taken old orphan photographs, I've adopted them as my own, scanned them in, and brought out the inner creatures of the night in all of these people.
Tom, tell me about all these cool props you brought to FangoCon.
Oh, I've got one of my favorites here. It's a stunt copy from Evil Dead 2. We would use this to smash Bruce Campbell in the face with. It's covered with his sweat, spit, and blood. If you want to lick it, it's $5.
Wow, Bruce Campbell's face was smashed against this book.
Absolutely.
This is the Book of the Dead, Anchor Bay DVD release for Evil Dead. Look at that. Now, tell me where the coded message are, because I don't even know where they are.
Employees must wash hands before returning to workplace. Thanks.
What was the horror film that changed your life?
Evil Dead 2.
He also likes it up the.
Tell me the horror film that changed your life. Oh, I've never heard of that one.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Do you own a chainsaw?
I do, actually.
Schindler's List.
I don't see any Schindler's List merchandise at any of these tables here.
I always look.
At Fangoria, there's a ton of stuff to see, a ton of stuff to buy, and more importantly, horror filmmakers and celebrities are here to talk to the people.
I am Chucky, the killer doll, and I dig it!
In this movie, I play dual roles. I play Tiffany the doll, who's, a little psychotic. And then I play Jennifer Tilly, B-movie actress. It was just super fun acting opposite myself. They say you're only as good as the person you act opposite. And in this movie, I was just stellar.
Who's your favorite horror film actor?
Probably Bruce Campbell. We actually have a son, and we named him Ash. Bruce Campbell, definitely.
Well, definitely Bruce Campbell, which is why I'm here.
What is your impression of fans at this convention?
They're a unique breed. I had a little presentation where we were showing something to a group, and I found a guy who was not wearing a black T-shirt. I kicked him out of the room. He was a nonconformist. He was a freak.
Tell me, what are you doing here at the Weekend of Horrors?
I'm introducing Man with a Screaming Brain. It's kind of like the out-of-towners with a brain transplant. A greedy American businessman, through a series of strange events, he gets part of a communist guy's brain put into his. So it's the reconciliation of the capitalists and the communists.
That sounds way too smart for some of the horror fans here. I gotta tell you, it could...
But the horror fans here are really smart. The ones with the black t-shirts, they're the smartest of all.
How would you like to be killed in a horror film?
I would like to be disemboweled so my guts fall onto the floor and I get to look down and experience it.
Definitely by a hot vampirist.
Could you tell us more?
I'd like to be decapitated.
Why only decapitated? I mean, someone could skull you, right?
Well, that would be cool, but they'd have to take him out to dinner first.
I've been stabbed, but I think after that, they'd want to, like, silence me because I'd be saying a lot of stupid things. I pooped my pants! So I think next, they'd cut off my tongue.
Yeah, the best way would probably be if, like, Kevin Prairie was committing suicide off the Empire State Building and landed on my head. That'd be great.
Awesome. Chris Gore, filmed in his natural habitat. When we hit Comic-Con, even we were surprised by the sheer amount of geekery on display. And we've seen some geekery, believe me.
You can easily call Comic-Con a lot of things. You can call it the ultimate comic book festival or the world's biggest toy store. You can even consider it another excuse for you to cram yourself into ill-fitting tights and frighten children. But one thing you can't do is see it all. I mean, this thing is huge. We're talking Galactus huge, and if you got that reference, chances are you're probably behind.
There is something for everyone here. There are comic books, there are science fiction and fantasy, there's artists, all the big movies that are coming out, all the premieres, lots of stars running around.
As just an artist, as just someone who draws, it's great to come here and just be around so many phenomenal talents and just see the new work.
Just curious, is there any truth to the rumor that your blaster fires lasers that are both longer and wider? I don't know. I'm looking at it. Big corks in my forehead because I'm tough, because that makes me cool. I can't afford horns. It's a little on the low budge side. If you... Yeah, I'm just... You know, here at Comic-Con, Star Wars has a huge presence. In fact, Kenny Baker and Peter Mayhew, we're talking R2 and Chewbacca, are both here, and I'm getting exclusive interviews. Let's go.
You can geek out about things, and you're gonna find somebody else geeking out about that same thing.
Wow! This is the rockin'est place in the whole world. This is it. Signing.
Hey, get this camera out of my face here.
I thought we had something. We hung out at G4ia.
Yeah.
We did Comic-Con last year. I thought there might have been a little chemistry. Sure. Way to shrug it off, because then I see on my show cavorting with a gentleman by the name of Drunk Vader.
Well, you know Vader. I mean, dark leather, heavy breathing. He's very, sexy.
You are way too good looking to be this nerdy.
I hate you, Drunk Vader.
We have the best characters in the world. It's wonderful universes of imagination. These guys are the great optimists of the superhero universe. We must have 75 different people who've worked on the comics over the years.
Lee, I'm walking around Comic-Con.
Yeah.
People are telling me that it's not just all about Marvel and DC, that there's
Right.
I think they use the word underground scene or independent or something like that. What is
yeah,
this?
Absolutely. Dark Horse, we're coming up on our 20th anniversary. We are now the third largest comic book company in the country. We're a strong foundation of getting a lot of really great creator-owned titles, as well as a lot of great licensed work.
Every year it feels like Comic-Con gets larger and larger, and I've seen more and more confluence between the world of films, comic books, gaming, toys.
And I suddenly have a new appreciation for comic books.
Everybody who's in any way involved in publishing and in books, in comics, in movies, and in the games is gonna be here. They're gonna be showing off their wares.
It's also a place to do business and kind of hook up with people and say, hey, what's up? I do this, and want to hire me?
Finally something I'm interested in.
Sure.
Bob, what are you showing off at your booth here at Comic-Con?
This is high-tone smut for the discerning pervert.
Yes.
You're tired of the capes. Want the capes to be removed. You like the nice girls in a pleasant fashion.
Yeah.
Is that your microphone, or are you very happy to be here?
A little bit of both at this point.
Go I hate Happy Tree Friends.
There is a God. Yeah, apparently the Volkswagen Beetle wasn't nerdy enough.
These are our people, and we're happy to embrace our geekdom here.
It's Christmas in July for me. I mean, every year I come and I don't care what's going on in my life, I have to take those 4 days off.
It's interesting just to see everything out on display and be able to talk to people in the industry.
If you're in comics, this is where you get recharged.
We love geeks.
Comics and movies and video games and toys. I can't go on. Must stop talking about comics. I need a hotel bar.
Hey, Junk Vader, give me a call. I miss you.
Wow, you again. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming. Wow, Kevin came back from that trip with a suitcase full of spandex. I think it's safe to say he had a good time. Now, sometimes these cons take us to the East Coast, sometimes to the Midwest, sometimes to the outer limits. We'll relive QuakeCon and the Wired Next Fest after this momentary break from nostalgia.
We have a lost little boy here. He answers to the name of 7 of 9. Will parents please report to the lost and found?
So crazy,
Welcome back to Attack of the Showcon, where we bring you our favorite convention moments in easy-to-swallow caplets. Now, the Wired Next Fest, man, I could tell you some stories about that if I didn't suffer from occasional blackouts. Welcome to Chicago, home of the Next Fest Wired World's Fair. It's kind of like the world of tomorrow. A world of flying cars, Philip K. Dick robots, and bionic nurses that can lift you clear out of bed. So follow me, won't you? You know what? We gotta go around the other way. So. It's a flying car.
It's really a flying car. The Jetsons are coming true.
Tell me about it. Does it make that little, like, annoying sound, you know, when George goes off to work?
The F400 is designed to take off and land vertically and then go up to about 350 miles an hour. The last test flight we did was back in, I think, November of 2003. And now we have engines that are about twice as much horsepower as what we had before. And we'll be demonstrating late in the fall or early in the spring of next year.
I'm sitting here in the lovely... Phil, just a second. I'm sitting here in the apartment of Philip K. Dick with an exclusive... Philip. All right, you want to talk right now? Let's go. Philip, thank you for having us in your lovely home. What I want to know is if androids really do dream of electric sheep. Any comment? I'm sorry?
I have to process that one for a while. That is a generalization.
Good point.
What is your real name?
My real name is Yusuf Saloum.
What's your sign?
I'm a Cancer. And you?
It's art. It's basically a robot of Philip K. Dick, just like in his books and his movies. It uses speech recognition, and then it goes into like a custom AI that we created that mines from text that Philip K. Dick actually said. It's a kind of synthetic, I think, silicone-based skin that allows very lifelike human expressions to be made with very low-power motors.
Was Harrison Ford your first choice for Blade Runner?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Gotcha. Couldn't see me, could ya? It's because I'm wearing this reflective coat, which is made out of the same type of stuff that they put on freeways to reflect light. What you're seeing is actually coming at me, bouncing behind me, and coming straight back at you. And that's why you can only see my hands and my face, and now you can't see me at all.
This is called retroreflection projection technology. It's the Invisible Human project. In contrast to regular mirrors in which angle of incidence, angle of reflection, the light comes straight back at you in the direction that it was shown.
If you're feeling lazy, hook up your favorite nurse with this thing.
So she's getting in the power assist suit right now, and she's gonna lift me off the bed as if I were some sort of bedridden invalid, which I'm not.
It's air compressed, so it knows how much air to release based on the sensors on the nurse's muscles.
So is it comfortable?
Oh, yeah.
It is?
I think I'm right about as heavy as they'll let me be. I'm 170. I had a big breakfast though, so I'm not really sure how this is gonna play out.
Not cool. Can you?
First time I've ever been picked up by a woman. My car is over there. Is that cool?
That's interesting, yeah. Oh, my goodness. All right, there's enough time for everybody. Hi. So, Brendan, Wired Next Fest. Do you even remember anything anymore?
I kind of remember the guy with the hair. No?
It's really sad. There are apparently two major things at QuakeCon, gaming and porn. So it was like a Kevin magnet.
Since 1996, 10,000 plus gamers have converged here to celebrate gaming at the Gaylord Ranch. I just totally said Gaylord. That's awesome. Where are we again? QuakeCon! Yeah, QuakeCon, that's right. Okay, now fight! Go!
There was happened to be a hotel across the street from the old id offices, and some guys got together to play Quake right after it came out in 1996, and from that it's grown into something from a few dozen guys to like several thousand people. This year we have the best lineup of title sponsors. Activision, obviously bringing Quake 4 to the event. NVIDIA, our graphics card sponsor. They're the guys who are who are really writing the checks for the $150,000 in prizes that we're giving. And then also Creative as our sort of sound card sponsor, and also with the Fatality Challenge.
The Fatality Shootout. Basically, gamers have a chance to go head-to-head with me, and if they can beat me, they'll get one of my new Sound Blaster X5 Fatality FPS sound cards.
Now, how many of those sound cards have actually been given out today from people that have beaten you?
0.
QuakeCon has the competitions, it's got the tournaments. One thing that it has every year are the best of the case mods. Tell me about your amazing case mod.
You know, you've seen the cube mods where guys have taken the box and made it into a computer into the box, but the box isn't scary. I was trying to make something scary.
And now what's in the brain here? Because I noticed it's doing a little laser light show.
Yeah, it's a laser pod that I tore apart to put in there.
Now, you know, it does say in the manual when you take it out that you probably shouldn't disassemble it.
Right, so that's the first thing any good modder should do.
What's being shared on the private network here at QuakeCon?
The worst porn ever.
Porn.
Quite a plethora of porn, yes.
The BYOC area here at QuakeCon, or the Bring Your Own Computer area, is filled with lots of things. There's gaming, there's empty balls bottles, there's pornography. In fact, so much so that we decided to have a little competition. It's our own little game we like to call Prawn King. Who's got the porn?
30 gigs there.
30.4 gigs of porn. Let's go. It's got to be one folder. Let's go into it. What's farmerotica.com?
What?
Richard, how big is your prawn folder?
That would be 94.1 gigabytes.
We got porn on a computer. Oh, it's sorted by date. You're very methodical, OCD-ish about your smut. What was that? I'm sorry, what was the name of that series again? We got some porn.
I've got many female artists here. No, that.
Oh, they're in a row. That's very nice of them to organize like that. How long? Whoa. Okay, that's yeah. Wow. Whoa, is she dead? Because that's hot. I want to know what the dirtiest file is that you have, though. That's a tennis. That is a tennis racket, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you can. I'm sure it'll be blurred. That's 2 tennis rackets now. But okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, the G4 Attack of the Show Prawn King of QuakeCon 2005. You receive a G4 T-shirt. Very happy?
Thank you.
Take your prize.
Thank you.
And in addition, you'll receive Jeff Costa's cardio striptease workouts. Assuming your parents are watching Attack of the Show, I want you to look into the camera and tell Mom and Dad what this moment feels like for you being the 2005 Prawn King.
I'm extremely sorry.
You know, Kevin calling out kids for having a lot of porn, there's an expression about pots and kettles that might be appropriate here. Now, once I return from my hunt for more Sharpies, we return to the Penny Arcade Expo. Not literally, though. And we try and figure out just what the hell Scott Michello was doing at DEF CON.
There you go.
Welcome back to Attack of the Showcon. Do you think getting hundreds of hackers together under the same roof is a good idea? Well, the guys behind DEF CON did.
DEF CON 13, compromised boxes, Linux, undercover FBI agents. It's all here. Today we're going to take a look inside and see if I can find the guy that's been using my credit card to play Star Wars Galaxies.
I want to do a con on the West Coast that wasn't tied to like a time of the year. So I needed a name for it. I also needed a location. There are no hackers in Vegas. It was just a barren wasteland of casinos. So if you wanted to come to the con, you actually had to drive here, get in a car, fly here. So we were hoping that would self-select the people who really were into it. 4 or 5 years after DEF CON started, everything switched upside down. Linux was free, PCs are a giveaway, internet's, dial-up or AOL's giving you 1 million hours. So all the reasons you broke into originally are all gone, they switched around, they're no longer there. So it's been this whole evolution of the whole hacker scene.
Hacking is a skill set, in finding security vulnerabilities and security failures. And you have different people that are in niche areas. Like some people are not even really in the computer side of it. So every year that I come, I learn something.
Well, Wall Sheep used to be literally written on paper plates. And these guys would sniff the wireless network, and everything they saw something they shouldn't, like somebody logging in to check their mail, clear text with no encryption or protection, they'd write down the information, they'd stick it up on the wall like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And it grew and grew and grew, and it's gotten so big now, you'd think people would get smarter over the years, that now it's electronic and they project it on the wall.
DEF CON is like the real live action version of all the things that I read and like. The best thing so far that I've seen that I got to participate in was the KegBot. It's actually a kegulator that has individual tags. They're not RFID, but they're tags that store your username and password. It's an I button, and you plug it in, it tells you your stats, how much beer you drank, and you can't get beer unless you have one of those.
So what are you guys doing at DEF CON?
Well, we're showing off our RFID long-distance world record. We can basically read a tag that you would find at a Walmart, and we're going to read it from distances never before thought possible and never done before. It's possible that if the store doesn't have them set up correctly, you can rewrite the tags and change the codes that are on there. So say your 27-inch LCD TV rings up as a box of Cheetos. So it definitely has room for exploitation.
Yeah, one of our biggest projects that we've been working on lately is called From the Shadows. It's an IPTV program based around new technologies and using technologies in ways never before thought possible.
What exactly is this?
It's just a normal Segway, except we took it to a chopper shop in Phoenix. They have it all custom painted, mirrors put on, new rims, new tires. I just got to pimp it out a little bit. It went from Seattle all the way to Boston on foot. There was a bunch of our students at the university, and we sponsored them. We bought this for them to take across the country as part of a project that they were doing.
It's a great community of people that share interest in telephony and computers and security, and it's like getting a bite at that apple of forbidden knowledge.
Edited by Steve.
I'll be with you in just a second. Plastic Bugs, the man with his finger on the pulse of the hacker scene.
When Kevin went down to the Penny Arcade Expo, a celebration of online comics and games, things got exciting. Well, as exciting as these things can be.
See this? This is two guys fighting over video games, and it's hard to believe it, but that's where Penny Arcade got its start. But what I want to know is how do they go from this to this? Mike, Penny Arcade Convention. This is its 17th year?
Second year.
Second year, okay. Tell me about the first year of Penny Arcade. With regard to the convention, how did it start?
If we could put on any con in the world, we want to see what? Console tournaments, PC tournaments, tabletop tournaments.
Breasts.
No, actually.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, continue.
We specifically don't allow booth babes in the Penny Arcade Expo. We want the focus to be on substance, not style.
But I mean, really, come on, no one rolls dice anymore. Then that's just for nerds, right? mic right behind us, all caged up. The nerds have been swarming and frothing all day like vultures around a carcass. What exactly is all this?
That is the Omega Collection.
It looks like a lot of old NES stuff.
I would say every Nintendo product ever made.
What does one have to do to win the Omega Collection?
Quite a lot. It's 20 Omega Knots, we call them, and they're put in a multidisciplinary, multi-day, multi-genre competition.
There's panels going on. Can you tell me about some of the panels in the competition?
This Pitch Your Game Idea, it's a pretty popular one.
Wait, Pitch Your Game Idea, how does that work?
Yeah, you go up and there's executives from the game companies and you get to pitch your game idea to them.
I can just walk down there and start pitching them ideas?
Yeah.
Hold this real quick.
Slanted towards a separate personality of survival you have already gone through and fought back.
My name is Kevin. The problem I have is that I love mini games. I want a gritty, realistic, hardcore mini game scenario, and I'm calling it Cable Television Darling.
There hasn't been that great a precedent set with past superstar, work your way up, real world.
They never had this face on the box.
I see.
You're walking the aisle at Walmart, it's Cabela's Big Game Hunter, or it's Kevin Pereira's Cable Television Darling.
I know the perfect show, X-Play. X-Play would be the perfect show to throw on that game.
Yeah. Have you found love at the convention?
Alas, I have not found love.
Now, surprisingly enough, I'm shocked. There's a couple ladies wandering around this convention.
Oh yeah, I mean I think it's more than last year. There's a lot of girls around here.
Have you chatted her up?
I don't think I'd really stand a chance. I mean, I'm a pretty average guy.
I mean, I am too, but have you tried walking around with one of these?
Hey there, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Great comment that I heard after last year's PAX. One guy said, you know what was really interesting there? Everyone you saw, everyone just walking and patting you in the hallway looked familiar. That was a really cool thing.
We've seen everything their convention has to offer. We've talked to all their adoring fans, but now it's time to talk to the two big guys themselves, Gabe and Tycho. Excuse me, guys, they're right through this door. We got an exclusive.
Sorry, sir. Please, step back.
No, Mike and Jerry from Penny Arcade.
Yes,
I'm with G4. We're gonna.
Please, just.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I see how this is with the enforcers, and I'm getting in there. Like, Jerry, hey, are you getting this? Are you looking at me? Hey, no. Penny Arcade!
Go. Kevin, by the way, spent hours working on his serious journalist face. I actually caught him in the makeup room a few times. It's kind of embarrassing. Brendan, some crowd, huh? Really good turnout today. How's your day going?
Not well. Not well at all. In fact, I've had one person come by for an autograph. It was my own mother. And, it hasn't gone well at all. I've got a big sign.
Okay. I think they're going to come maybe after lunch.
It's just...
Maybe after lunch.
Okay.
Before the doors close on our fun look back at conventions, did we ever actually answer the question, what's up with Japan? Find out.
May I have your attention, please? The owner of a Dodge Charger with a license plate THX 1138. Your lights are on. Thank you.
Welcome back to Attack of the ShowCon. We're coming to you live, well, live-ish, from the show floor with our favorite convention moments. Now, when Kevin headed to Japan for the Tokyo Game Show, he had some time to explore a little bit. We trusted he'd remain professional, but kept bail money handy just in case.
They do things over there that only they can. Tell me what's up with Japan.
So I took a week off of Attack of the Show and traveled thousands of miles to a foreign country, and people want to know why. Well, it's to answer one simple question. What's up with Japan? For lifestyle exploitation, Harajuku's the place to be. There's live journal emo goth, tree-hugging hippie, hip-hop guy. Here in Harajuku, the frog purses are made of actual frogs. Real dog? Why Japan? The country of Japan has outlawed firearms. You can't get them anywhere. Even the police themselves don't carry them. But see, the society, they're smart. They understand that sometimes just gotta blow some people away. That's why there's airsoft.
Everything started out in Japan about 20 years back. Only reason why they actually started playing airsoft was because they couldn't carry real guns here. They shoot at about 270 feet per second. You got gears, you got a motor, piston, you got different types of guns. AEGs, you got your gas-powered pistols, and your spring bolt-action rifles, upgradable to any amounts of power from 270 feet per second all the way up to 600 feet per second.
Can we actually fire one of these bad boys?
Okay, let's get to it now.
Right, let's do it. So this is our producer, Brian Keller. He has been working me like a dog all week at TGS. And so I said, Brian, we should see what the gear looks like. If you're playing a match, get on a mask, get on a little Kevlar vest. But now I've got him trapped in the corner of the store because he's afraid every time he moves, I'm gonna unleash hell on him. What'd you say? By the way, the safe word was petunia. Something that the Japanese consider to be ethnic cuisine involves putting eggs on everything. Everything. The busiest intersection in Japan is right here in Shibuya, and apparently my question's been answered. The electricity bill is what's up with Japan. Here in Japan, the 3 S's are very popular. Schoolgirls, sushi, and smoking. The problem is when you're walking around the streets of Akihabara, you can't light up. So that's why they've got Smoker Style. It's a place dedicated to lung cancer. Let's go in. It smells like ass and salmon in there. It's not good. Seriously, every thing. Check out this, the latest in cell phone technology. 3.4 megapixel camera, holds 5 gigs of MP3s, and of course, it's net enabled. Excuse me, I have to take this one. Hello? And if this were a typical scene in a North American arcade, they'd probably still be in business. What do you know? A burger. Oh, hey, look. There's an egg on it. Yeah. You know, it's kind of weird. For a country that has video stores with dedicated schoolgirl tentacle violation sections, sex is actually considered quite taboo. You can't even get condoms at a local mini-mart. For that, you have to find a specialty shop. I don't even know where to look, though. Oh, look. They come in X-Play and Attack of the Show. All kidding aside, Japan is an absolutely amazing place. The people, the culture, the lights, just everything. Except for the eggs. I can't deal with the eggs anymore. I'm not excited about it.
Now, while initially hesitant, Kevin now can't eat anything without eggs on it. I mean anything. I refuse to go to lunch with him anymore.
I understand where you're coming from. His cholesterol levels are also through the roof. I'm worried.
Been a lot of weird happenings around here since he actually got back from Japan.
Well, there is something very strange about Japan. They like robots a lot.
He's got a fascination with mini robots, and I keep hearing the word hentai thrown around.
Not familiar with that.
Okay. Are you convinced now that conventions are more than funny costumes and snarky interviews? No? Then we're bringing back the insightful and inspired Gnerd documentary that blew the lid off of E3.
If anyone lost a bat lathe, please report to the security desk on E9. Thank you.
Here we are, still bringing you all the action from Attack of the Shokan. Now, while at E3, we saw a lot of things that left our jaws hanging open, but nothing could have prepared us for the first ever documented evidence of the Gnerd.
G4 and E3 2005 present Seduced by Science with your host, Taliska Fernley, GED.
I'm standing outside the E3 2005, where we are trembling with sensual excitement at the discovery of an entirely new species of Homo sapien. This is a species that could only be gestated here, in the warm, humid womb of E3. I'm coming, my elusive treasure. The only known footage of this elusive creature was done by a Scandinavian team who found one swag-starved outside of an N-Gage conference in Stockholm. Behold, Gnerdus ginormicus. Non-verbal, savage and unpredictable. It exists only to gather that which is more precious to its being than air. Gratis detritus. To the layman, swag. Valueless, really. And yet, the Gnerd cannot live without it. The hunt is on. A trap has been set with extremely rare swag. To Gnerd, it's like eating a seed from the hand of God. And the trap is sprung. Now it's time to fix the tracking device. Hold him steady. So it'll only hurt a little bit. We have you now. From here, we can track the Gnerd's every move. Sensual. Our tracking device has revealed this to be a nexus of Gnerd activity. Let us see what happens when two of the species interact while in the midst of their swag-gathering rituals. Oh. Sensuality. We cannot judge their cruelty. Their laws are their own, handed down by instinct. I now know the only way for me to truly study them is to get close. I must become Gnerd. I knew from watching Animal Planet that the watering hole was nature's great meeting place. It was there that I would become Gnerd. It was then I understood the liberating freedom of Gnerd. Gnerd showed me the complexity of nothing. Nothing but the soulless, cold touch of a hollow marketing ploy. E3 will soon be over. He will return to hibernate in the cold subterranean recesses of some dark suburban basement. God, I love that sound.
Ever since that study, thousands of Gnerds have been tagged and studied by zoologists the world over.
That's great.
Typical. We'll be wrapping things up after this, but that's no reason not to come back, right? Right?
Attack of the show, baby. Attack.
Welcome back to the best of our conventions. Now, the show wouldn't be complete without hearing from you, the viewer. So let's take some of your chat questions.
All right, Mr. Mention wants to know, what was the worst smelling convention? Now, conventional wisdom would probably say QuakeCon. You get that?
Conventional wisdom.
He's a clever guy. You know, with all the sitting in close proximity and not bathing and stuff like, you know, that happens at QuakeCon. But something else tells me that Comic-Con may have given it a run for its money. Spandex doesn't breathe. Brendan, you've been to a few conventions. What do you think?
I have. They're all smelly in their own way. They're like, it's like fine cheeses.
Mhm.
Each have their own brand.
Aromas.
Star Trek's convention might give you a air freshener and smelly feet.
Mm.
You know, whereas the Star Wars convention is more of like an aerosol spray with dirty socks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Very
do.
different.
I do know what you mean. Brendan, it's been really fun. Attack of the Show Con, a resounding success.
Maybe next time I will get some real fans that show up to say hello to me.
Maybe, maybe. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
Computers on Attack of the Show provided by Intel. Game on. Power up. Take control with the Intel Pentium Processor Extreme Edition.